What is going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thanks for checking this one out. Today it's going to be a quick one just talking about routine and the importance of it and how it can really make or break your trading session. So let's get into it. So real quick before we get started, if you like what I'm doing here and the content is valuable, just give it a thumbs up so that I know to continue doing these and I can help get it out to other traders. And also, if you really like what I'm doing, just think about hitting the subscribe button. That way you don't miss out on any other upcoming videos and content that I'm making on this channel. So about routine. I never really was someone who believed in routine, quite honestly. I didn't think that it was something that I needed. I would just kind of get up and trade, and that was probably why I was finding a lot of inconsistencies. But as I've grown as a trader and I've gotten more knowledgeable and I've gotten to become a lot more consistent in my trading, what I've really noticed is that it has come down to routine. I'm waking up every morning, I'm getting my stream ready, I'm looking over the charts the same way, I'm talking out loud to you guys who follow me, and really it's turned into a routine that I didn't even realize I was doing. And I can see that over the last couple months, it certainly has created a lot more consistency in my trading and also in the way that I just approach the market and look over the market. I'm looking at it the same way, I'm trying to take the same exact trades, and I really feel that the routine that I have created is a very, very big part of that. So now, if you follow me on my Instagram at nest.fx, I post on my story a lot, and you would see that the last couple days I was down at the shore hanging out with the family, getting some R&R and seeing people who I haven't seen in a while with everything going on in the world, and I was away from my routine. I wasn't streaming on my Twitch. I didn't have my extra monitor that made my screens a lot bigger, and just the things that I'm accustomed to doing every morning. I had more people around me while I was trading, and I think that all together really just affected my mindset and my routine of how I got into the market. So I came into it on Thursday and I was looking at GBP JPY, and I had saw that it had been a little bit choppy, but overall it was falling, as you can see. So I was looking for more momentum to the downside. I figured that this up here was kind of a divergent triple top, fell down, was coming back into this zone, and I was going to see more continuation to the downside. But the issue was that I didn't wait for a confirmation. I didn't wait for this to break and then retest and then continue to the downside. And I also should have noticed that this actually broke the structure to the upside, and that potentially this was still moving in an upward fashion, and that maybe it was going to settle here, come sideways, and then push to the upside. Again, routine got me out of waiting for the confirmation. So what I did is I took a 5-minute entry, as you guys know that I like to, and I believe that I took this one right here, this strong kind of 3 candle engulfing. It was like right at 9 o'clock or so, and I thought that it was going to move to the downside. It was a bit divergent here on the TDI. As you can see, you had rising price action, and I had falling on a TDI, and I thought this thing was just going to fall over, and I just got in aggressively and a little bit too quick. But as I go through this replay, you'll see that as it did go lower and it pinned down, it came right back up, and then it threw that right there. And really what that was showing me was that the TDI was still very much in a buying condition, and it was in fact still likely to come to the upside simply because it came up, consolidated, and there should be more continuation to the upside. So at this point, I saw this, but I didn't get out of the trade. And that was a big, big mistake that I easily could have just been like, hey, this doesn't really look too good. This might actually come higher. I should probably get out of this. And I could see here that it was breaking up as well. It was making lower highs on the 1 minute, but it was still had every bit of potential to move higher. And again, my mistake was not closing this trade. I stayed in it. I should have waited and potentially taken a long entry on this signal right here. My spread is usually about 3. Say I'm in at 67, something like that. And then your stop is below this right here. So say even 10 pips. And then I like to go for 2R. But even more so than that, this could have just been a non-trade. I could have just not taken this position at all. But I was in the position and I didn't close it here. And as you'll see, this clearly just ripped right to the upside. Because again, this TDI is in every bit of a buying condition. It's not in a selling condition. And this isn't confirmed that it broke down, retested, and continued to the downside. This was more of continuation to the upside. So again, if anything, this should have been a no play if I wasn't going to take it to the upside. It should have just been a no trade. And since I was in it, I definitely should have closed it right here on this 3 candle bullish engulfing pattern with the TDI in a buying condition. So that was definitely a mistake on my part. And again, I think it really had to do with routine. I just wasn't talking out loud to my chat, to my stream, doing the things that I normally did. I was kind of in my head, and I have found that talking out loud has really led me to a lot of consistency, and that is why I had started my Twitch in the first place, because I wanted to be able to talk my thoughts out loud, because I found that that is where I was finding a lot more of my consistent results. So, okay, you take a loss, it's no big deal. I said to my fiance, I'm down $7 on the week. I think I'm just going to cut it here and call it a day and call it a week, and it's flat. But no, again, I was out of my routine and I went to Euro AUD. And right here, you can see this is pretty much just a choppy market that you have going on. A little bit of momentum to the downside, a little bit of movement to the upside, and I was right in here again, 9:45, 10 o'clock when I got out of that GPP JPY trade. The trade that I got in was at 9:53. I didn't even let this candle close. I got in on this push down here, and it wound up pulling back up. I closed the trade because my stop would have gotten compromised and it wouldn't have held. And then it did fall off a little bit, but ideally it was just a choppy day. And again, I think that I was really out of my element. I wound up taking a second unnecessary loss, which put me down on the week. So as the week ended, I was down just about 2%. I had lost about 4% on the day. So the positive takeaway from this is that I controlled risk in the overall grand scheme of things, and I didn't have a terribly down week, only 2%. My usual wins are 4%, so one win, and I make back the loss, and I make 2%. So it's not a big deal. But the issue is that I broke my consistency of waiting for the market to present the entry for me and then confirm it and take the entry. So the big issue is that I didn't even wait for the market to close here to give me a proper entry. The most proper entry would have been down here, potentially at this candle at around 10:15, because you could see that it broke down and kind of broke out, maybe even up here if I was feeling really aggressive. But there really, long story short, was no clean, valid entry for me on this trade either. I was definitely chasing the loss on GJ, and it just was not a good look. So I guess what I'll leave you with is routine really has become an important part of my morning, and I never realized how important it was until just now when I took these losses. So my question for you is, do you have a morning routine? What is it that you do every morning that gets you ready to trade these difficult markets? Put them down in the comments. I will respond back to you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, make sure you give it a like or a thumbs up if it's helping you and giving you some value, and think about subscribing so that you don't miss out on any future content. I will be back tomorrow on my Twitch, 8:30 in the morning till 11 Eastern Standard Time. I should be here for the whole week, so make sure to check that out for my live trading, and I will see you in the next recap video.